Hey, how's it going everybody? The Mythical Pickle here, and today is the day. Let's talk about the Fallout series. So if you're not already aware, there's a new Amazon Prime exclusive series that just released called Fallout that acts as an adaptation to the video game series by the same name that you should be also familiar with, as that's kind of the theme of this channel at this point. Now, before watching, as a matter of fact, long before the show even was released, I was pretty skeptical. I mean, I love this video game series and would love to see some more things come from it, but TV show video game adaptations haven't exactly had a great track record. Yeah, we're all looking at you, Halo. Though, I must say, after carefully watching through the series, I found myself actually getting invested. Like, I was actually curious what happened next, and I certainly wasn't alone on this. It seems that many people, regardless of if it was their first time being introduced to the Fallout universe, found something to enjoy about it, which is so awesome. I'm so happy to see that. But that really begs the question, why is that? Why did this one perform so much better than its predecessors? Let's talk about that. And fair warning, there will be mild spoilers in here, but I'll do my best to keep it to a minimum. And I'll try to pop up some timestamps to skip ahead to if you're still in the middle of watching the series. Fallout is the story of haves and have-nots in a world in which there's almost nothing left to have. Confused? Yeah, me too. That was a quote ripped directly from the movie synopsis though. Not sure what they were smoking over there, but I want in. Now, regardless of their poetic word choices, the show itself brings a lot to the table. First off, while I can't steal all the credit, I feel like my role in the first episode played a pretty major part in drawing in an otherwise shooketh audience. Boom, right there. Floating around with a bunch of my pickled brethren. Yeah, it was a bit difficult to keep the mythical crown on with all the sloshing and the raider being drowned in the barrel, but you can't deny the resemblance. I mean, look at that handsome devil. But in all seriousness, how f***ing crazy is it that there just happened to be a barrel of pickles in the very first episode of the season? Maybe this Pickle Knight thing is really starting to catch on. I mean, I think we might have finally infiltrated the Prime Video set director scene. Hell yeah, let's go guys. Jokes aside, I think there's a lot to take away from just the first episode alone though. While maintaining a very calm, common vault life to break us into the series, they truly wasted no time getting straight into the gritty action that Fallout is so well known for. And while the raider attack wasn't exactly a surprise for most, it still offered a tip of the hat, so to speak, to the Fallout veterans in the audience that were hoping to see Fallout in true wasteland fashion. And I'll admit, at times it felt like the directors were trying to weed out the squeamish at heart. I mean, this lady was literally pregnant and straight up ate a fork to the eye. But all in all, a solid and promising start to the series. And holy shit, the fun didn't stop there. While I'll admit I don't really watch many TV shows these days, I found that this show in particular always had a way of keeping me on my toes. I mean, while things were arguably predictable most of the time, I'd also argue that there was an equal amount of surprising, or rather strange, twists and turns that were sprinkled throughout the season. And I feel like this as a whole was an extremely good thing for the series, and I'm really glad that they adhered so closely to the roots that Fallout was grown from. Like how you can go from blowing some dude's head off to saying okie dokie. And while extremely dark, I feel like that's kind of the dark satire humor Fallout was known so well for. Throughout the season, we're introduced to many new characters, but there seems to be three main protagonists that we continue to follow, that being the classic, fresh out of the vault dweller, Lucy, the unhinged, anti-smooth skin with a bad attitude, the Ghoul, and then there's Maximus, a fresh Brotherhood of Steel initiate that certainly knows how to hold a grudge. Now, I mentioned that the Ghoul was unhinged, but to the credit of the writers, all three of these protagonists seem to have a few few screws loose, which is exactly what you would expect from those tracking the unforgiving waste, so round of applause. Now, to jump ahead a little bit to the ending, without spoiling anything, it was left quite open and free to be built upon in, say, another season. I know there's been tons of speculation and rumors of this season, and lo and behold, the second season has indeed been confirmed by Amazon, which is great news for sure, but you might want to hold off on the popcorn buckets for now. I want to see the next season as much as the next guy, but let's look back at the first season. Apparently, it took just around a year and a half to reach us from filming to post-production, which, if that's true, puts us at a end of 2025 release date for season 2. And while that is a pretty massive wait, I have no doubt that this amazing video game series will keep the fan base well preoccupied until that day. Now, clearly, I found this show as a whole to be pretty good. Now, I'm no critic or TV show expert, but with all the generous reviews and my, albeit biased, viewing of it, the show seems to be taking the world by storm, and I'm all for it. It's been so great seeing so many new faces join the Fallout gaming community, and especially the ones paying homage to the OGs like Fallout 3 and, of course, Fallout New Vegas. But now that we're past that little tangent, while I found this show pretty good, I'm not here trying to glaze it or anything. I think definitely the show had some room to grow in certain areas.
Okie dokie.
But overall, it was an enjoyable watch, and if you haven't watched it already, what the hell are you still doing here? Go out there and watch it. It's worth it. And if you have Prime, like most people do, it's free of charge, so. And with that being said, my next challenge run video will be themed around a particular familiar face from the show. So, I better see you back here soon for that one, alright? Anyways, that does it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button as well so you never miss another Fallout video like this. And if you're still not convinced just yet, feel free to peruse the channel for the other Fallout related content and random gaming shenanigans. The Pickle Fellowship's got it all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and as always, remember to smile.